Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Deepsea Sea-Dweller reference 1166660. The 44mm giant of the deep and Rolex's most technically advanced dive watch. You can see and you can own this diving bell for your wrist on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos. And please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Deepsea and our entire collection of Rolex inventory. The watch on my wrist represented perhaps the most controversial and engaging watch of 2008. When it debuted at Basel World that year, it was the subject of much talk. There were those who loved it, there were those who hated it, and there were those who were confused about whether or not this was truly the successor to the 40mm Sea-Dweller. It seemed like an entirely different class of watch designed to appeal to a different audience, as it was no longer simply a more robust Rolex Submariner, but something entirely different. A watch that brought advanced science and engineering from the realms of submersible construction and deep-sea geological and petrochemical prospecting. This watch is a tour de force if you have the wrist for its 44mm case. Now let's talk about that on my 16cm wrist. 44mm across the round of the case, not including the crown guards or crown. The watch is also quite thick, 17.8mm thick. Truthfully, it doesn't wear that thick because the case back, though it does contribute to the thickness, is also cupped, which means it kind of sinks into your wrist once the watch is sized and buckled down. Still a thick watch, it's not going to slide underneath any dress cuff, but this is professional style equipment, and that's the look. 55.6mm from solid end link to opposite solid end link. This is a big and burly watch across the wrist. Though my 16cm wrist can wear it securely, only you know for sure whether you like the look of an oversized watch, and if you do, well, they don't come much better than this timepiece, which is beautifully built and tested by Rolex using extreme equipment invented by Rolex and used in-house to verify the nearly incomprehensible diving depth of 3,900 meters to which this watch is rated. Now, the watch also features a substantial bracelet. One of the discussion points of 2008 was whether the bracelet width was really appropriate given the width of the lugs and the case, but there's no denying that the clasp is Rolex's finest. Now, of course, you see all solid, all steel, milled out from the solid. That's the impression you get on the wrist. You really get the sense that this is a bracelet that was carved out of a single chunk of a bank vault door. Now, what sets it apart isn't that it has a flip lock system, although it does, but because it has a fine adjustment system that allows you to actually take in and take out slack while the watch is on your wrist. So here, I can show you how that works. You can actually close everything down. Now the watch is on your wrist, and you can actually make fine adjustments. Let me close the flip lock just for the sake of discussion. You can actually make fine adjustments to the mechanism while it's on your wrist. Close it all up. So as your wrist may expand or contract in hot weather, cold weather, activity or inactivity, because of this unique decoupling system that removes the incremental detents from the clasp, you can make all the adjustments short of deploying the flip lock while the watch is still buckled down. Also important to note that the bracelet suffers no compromise of structural integrity for the fact that it does have that large removable segment. Okay, moving back to the case, you can see that it is huge. Now this was the beginning of the end of the hand-laid bevels on the lugs of Rolex sports watches, but you're not giving up much. What you lose in perhaps artisanal appeal, you gain in technology. Stamped from the solid in 904L steel, it's the most expensive way to industrially produce a case. Rolex does not cut corners. You'll also note the helium escape valve, present as ever and a signature of the Sea-Dweller family, originally designed in 1967 in conjunction with the Comex deep-sea engineering firm. It allows helium to escape for those who will dive in extreme exotic gas environments. When helium enters the watch, it needs to exit, and therefore it can through the valve without blowing out the crystals or the seals. Moreover, you can see that there's a sort of plinth underneath the crystal. The crystal is 5.5 millimeters thick, by the way, so not just resistant against water, but highly shock and impact resistant because of its sheer thickness. Now, the case back is made of titanium. In between the case back and that huge crystal, there is that cylinder that you can see with original gas escape valve written on it. Rolex likes to write novels on its dial, but this actually has a purpose. That is a system that is squeezed by caseback and crystal within this monoblock stamped case, endowing the watch with the incredible diving depth to which it is rated. You'll also note that one of the advantages of that immense crystal is that there is no Cyclops Eye Magnifier. So if you've seen the new 50th anniversary Sea-Dweller, the 43mm, you see it has the Cyclops Eye. Though this watch is ungainly in its proportions, its dial is supremely elegant. That's lost in the new Sea-Dweller 43. All of the indices feature chromolite, Rolex's unique blue luminescence, and the hands as well as indices are crafted of white gold. Inside, it's Rolex's tried and true caliber 3135 48-hour power reserve, automatic winding, a COSC Swiss chronometer, recased and retested as a chronometer as a complete watch. You know, the chronometer test, COSC, is a test of a movement alone, and then Rolex ensures that the watch meets a higher standard even than the COSC as a finished watch, +2, -2 seconds. And whether the watch was made before or after the superlative chronometer standard was introduced, all 3135s of this generation can be adjusted to meet those tolerances. Of course, very tough with a free-sprung balance and a full balance bridge. It's shock resistant, magnetically resistant thanks to the parachrom blue alloy of the hairspring, and resistant to positionally induced timing deviation thanks to the Breguet overcoil architecture of the hairspring. Finally, there's a quick set for the date and hacking or stop seconds to synchronize to a reference time. Is the watch overkill? Absolutely. But that's part of the fun of luxury. Is it for you? Only you can say. See it and find out on our website.